We live in an age of remakes and remasters because nobody has any good ideas anymore, I guess. But a lot of these are games that are beloved, that people have likely already played and are just wanting to experience again. And the remastering often kills a lot of the mystique and the style that the original game had. So why not try remaking games that missed the mark? Games that people were interested in but ended up not doing well for whatever reason. I know why they actually won't do it, because publishers and investors want a guaranteed win, like something that will surely sell copies. That's why they only remake successful games. But these are games with great ideas and just poor execution, usually due to budget constraints, deadlines, or engine limitations. When I say bad games, I don't mean stuff like Concord or Highguard, where like nobody wanted it to begin with. These are games that I think would actually develop a following if they were better. Like Homefront. Like, I'd love to see a new Homefront game get made. I've already made a video in depth going over like what it did right, what it did wrong, what I want to see for a sequel, so if you want, you can go check that out. But for most of the games on this list, I'm going to give a quick disclaimer, because there's a lot of discussion going on right now with quote-unquote Resident Evil fans, who claim to love the franchise yet have never played any of the older games. And this is in a long line of different fandoms. We got Persona, Metal Gear, some others I'm surely forgetting, I don't know, but Final Fantasy. And I don't want to fall into that pile. I don't want to be a grifter or a tourist or whatever, because most of the games I'm going to talk about in this video I've never actually played myself, but I can see the appeal and the vision that they never got the recognition that I think they deserve. I don't know if I'd say this is the same thing either, because like in this case it's games that like you can't even really play anymore, whereas in their case it's just being too lazy to set up an emulator. Alright, with that said,
I'm a carnivore, a real meat eater.
Like with how I talked about discovering Bad Company in one of my recent Battlefield video, I was introduced to HAZE through a Spike TV ad. But this was one of those edgy, grungy, mid-2000s era ads. You know, you got a lot of yelling, a lot of focus on like eyeballs, muscles, veins, a lot of just general gross anatomy stuff, which makes little grade schooler me think, this is one of those adult games for grown-ups. Which if you've watched my recent videos, you've probably been able to put together the type of aesthetics that I like, and this is one of them. The psychological stuff, I love this. 7th gen brown shooters, my beloved. All this in earnest. Give me more, please. Now I hope Oboe Shoes doesn't send an Abrams tank after me for stealing his gameplay, because I can't get this working on RPCS3, and I don't really care enough to figure it out because this game looks like buns, both graphically and in terms of how it plays. Like, these gun designs are horrendous. Oh, it's a Halo killer? Why? Because the gun has a big ammo can on the back of it? Is that what it is? And the Resistance faction as a whole just looks very bland and uninspired. And playing dead is a very silly gameplay mechanic. I don't care if it has like lore implications, I think it sucks. Look at how dumb this looks. And for that matter, in the game you're fighting through these lame jungles and these ugly rundown industrial plants. Meanwhile in the trailers it shows like these cities. Like the big corporation, they're in this big like futuristic looking city, like this would have been cool to fight in. And it's like, was it supposed to take place in Rio de Janeiro? It has the Christ the Redeemer statue in the background in these trailers. It'd be good to have these in gameplay for these like thematic moments in these scenes. And I've always hated damn, the big corporation is the bad guy? I had no idea! Now I have to defect! Like, why not have a game where you embrace it, or at the very least like neutral about it? Like Mass Effect 2 or something. Like, this was the era, mid-2000s, this is like the era where being the edgy villain was cool in media.
Evil Empire, laughing all the way to the bank.
Like, the Syndicate reboot did this exact thing, and it pissed me off. Like, there's a bit where you shoot up a train station, it's just like, treated as like, oh, it's just corporate warfare, man, this is just what we do. But then the protagonist, like, way later, is like, wait a minute. I think we're doing bad things. I'm gonna stop this. And I don't like how they spoiled going over to the Resistance like in the trailer for HAZE. Granted, I don't think it's a very difficult thing to predict. The game is very clearly a GWAT commentary game. We've got big, industrialized, shock and awe military fighting impoverished native brown people for natural resources or whatever. All your allies are young, roided out football dude bro types having fun.
We stormed this place a few weeks back. All we found were empty hands.
Empty hands?
What do I teach you boys?
An empty hand is just a grip away from holding a gun.
So?
You gotta take them down before they can pick it up. Boosh!
Tell you what, for the remake, replace Nectar with a cocktail of Zins and White Monster. That's how you make it realistic. But this game, like, You get these like actually good moments of like your squad members realizing they've done bad things, and like the voice acting's really good.
I think I did something bad.
Yeah, you probably did.
Excuse me? Did I do something bad?
Yeah, it's highly likely.
I did something bad. I did something bad. Oh, God, I did something bad. I threw her in the fire.
Oh, he threw the girl in the fire. It wasn't Duval. What a twist.
I did something bad.
Duval wasn't the carnivore from Marino's story. Well, there goes that guy.
Sir! Sir, you're hurt! Sir!
Shane, please, don't tell my mom.
That's just one of the several dozen kinda cool things that HAZE does where you're like, it's something, I guess. It never really comes together to make an impressive game, but it has a couple scenes that are like, that was okay.
It's just held back by the terrible graphics and animations and the fact that everyone's dressed up like bumblebees. Hence why I think it needs a remake. That and to make the gameplay not terrible. Spec Ops sweep yet again. Should have had it where you stay with your squad and you do increasingly bad things, and then at the end is when the decision comes where you decide what your fate or like punishment should be. Or at least it would be like a branching story of like if you actually want to defect to the resistance or not. And while we're on the topic about choosing sides...
Where's this place we're going to again? Fish Farm Visitor Center, back when we had visitors.
And fish.
BRINK is a game that I actually have played, and I quite enjoyed. I bought it on a whim back when it released just because there were ads for it all over the place. You'd think it was Halo 3. But the world of BRINK is so cool. I highly recommend watching the story of BRINK on YouTube, which goes through all the audio logs. It feels like it very well could have had a 6 to 7 out of 10 TV series on sci-fi or something.
To maintain order, the Ark was divided. And now we're out of time. The Ark is wearing out. No new ship or plane has been seen in 20 years. The new guests live in slums, disease, thirst. Some have formed a resistance that vows to seize power and search for life outside the Ark. Ark's security force says we must have order to survive. So will you save the Ark or escape it?
Your orders are perfectly clear. You will resolve the situation peacefully and quell this unrest without recourse to unnecessary violence. Lethal force is a last, not a first option. Any and all civilian casualties will result in your immediate dismissal. Not barbarians, Captain Macuena. You, of all people, should remember that.
What's that supposed to mean?
After today's kidnapping, the founders have finally authorized the use of deadly force. Be very clear on this,
Captain,
ladies.
on deck!
Men, for the Ark to survive, we must have order. We must save the Ark!
Brothers, today is a great day. Today we step up. Brother Finn has given the word. Today we move on from peaceful resistance. Has been driven to this! Driven by the intransigence of the founders! Driven by the brutality of Makuin!
Brothers, if we stay here, we die. To save our people, we must escape the Ark!
And I love the soundtrack. The soundtrack's one of the best ones out there. And I love how each menu has a different theme, and the theme changes when you switch factions. The gameplay felt like a predecessor to like Titanfall and Overwatch. I know there are a lot of Team Fortress 2 comparisons that were made back in the day just because it's like cartoony graphics, class-based shooter objectives, payload, that kind of thing. But it also has similarities with Titanfall, with a multiplayer story campaign that you're playing through a story, but it's also multiplayer. Which, I've always liked this idea. I think it's cool on paper, but you gotta imagine, like, the average player, right? He's got his white monster and his bag of chips, and he's in a Discord call with, like, 4 of his friends. They're not gonna hear any of what's going on, especially there's no subtitles in this game. With more refinement to the gameplay, like, going back and playing it, it does feel, like, very stiff, especially now that, like, Titanfall exists. And also the servers were terrible. You can't have that.
What the fuck? Okay, what the fuck is this?
But I feel like this game could do pretty well if they tried to do it again. Like, people love the movement shooters, they like the cartoony graphics, makes it easy to run on lower end hardware. Now I know what you're saying. Oh, they made Dirty Bomb. I don't care. It didn't have parkour, the world was infinitely less interesting, and it had this really lame free-to-play monetization system. Speaking of free-to-play, I don't know why it took them like 6 years to figure out, maybe we could make BRINK free-to-play. It's like, Titanfall 2's been out for a year at this point, dude, nobody cares. And while we're on the topic of mechs and multiplayer, I hate Souls games so much, dude. They took FromSoft away from working on cool stuff like this! Armored Core 6 was a crumb that fell off the dinner table. They go right back to making more Souls stuff. The builds, the communications, the strategy behind these multiplayer matches feels like they'd be right at home in this current age of competitive games like Siege or Counter-Strike or Valorant. Watching these old clan battle videos makes me actually somewhat understand how people can find competitive games and esports enjoyable. You got some people scouting, some people anchoring, sniping, rushing, all using these very different builds for your mech, swapping out all these different parts to try and suit some sort of archetype or like some sort of cool mix and match. This even has a Helldiver style metagame where you're capturing and holding territory on a big map, trying to fight other clans for more land. And it has seasons. Like, this could very easily work with a live service model. Tell me this isn't cool. And I much prefer esports being through this lens of this giant war fantasy and having skirmishes over territory as opposed to just being sports ball with guns. It's just so unoriginal and lame. It saps the creativity of the unique experiences that games can provide by just being, oh, FIFA, but I shoot you. No, I was never able to play the multiplayer for this, only the very mid single player. But you have this operator mechanic similar to, I guess, the commander mode from Battlefield 4 or droning in Rainbow Six.
With 2 operators on both ends really helping you out develop strategies to become the best. What you're going to see in just a little bit is an overhead map of the operator's point of view. The operator plays a huge role in Armored Core and is brand new to the system. He's going to go ahead and lay down radars, provide you with information to give you weaknesses on other ACs that you're going to encounter in the game, as well as try to go ahead and evolve with the strategies that you guys have already come in with, but then change and adjust accordingly depending on how the enemy reacts. What you see on the screen right here is an overhead map of a conquered territory. As you go ahead and conquer territory, you'll be able to set up these defense mechanisms that are going to really help declare it as your own. Not only that, but your emblem, your team emblem, will become present so that other members will also see this. Most especially the enemies that you go ahead and try to conquer.
Like, intel is everything. Knowing enemy locations is everything. You can't heal. Like, every bit of damage taken is impactful. Like, tell me this doesn't feel like early Siege.
Yeah, I like North. I swear, I can't jump that freaking pipe. It's embarrassing.
Okay, I say we breach the garage.
No, I'd rather not. I mean, they always defend it with a shitload of booby traps.
Something about the way these guys talk on comms really makes me feel nostalgic for the earlier days of online multiplayer.
I think it's the HN Ravens, though, since they've been the most actively...
I'm not sure entirely.
The HN Ravens aren't that good.
Fairly certain that when we lose this, it's going to be my fault.
Yeah, I've never talked to them, but we fought them like 4 times and we've never lost yet, so... And they just sit behind those large...
We were on defense and we rushed them and won.
Those large thermal sniper cannons, they just sit behind them with all their vertical missiles.
Oh, we're facing off against God?
You guys usually kick our asses.
I thought God was killed like a while ago.
Like, there's something just like so like late 2000s about it. I don't know why. Not in like the Modern Warfare 2 way though.
You got fucking riot shield. What else you gonna do?
Oh, riot shield! I'm a pussy that use riot shield!
It just reminds me of like gamer talk that you'd hear in like freaking Sword Art Online back when people thought that was good.
Player killers. They're all about murder. In a normal game, they roleplay as the bad guy, have some laughs, and it's cool. But Sword Art Online isn't normal. It's definitely not a game.
But this was back in the day when metas weren't discovered within hours and destroyed the fun in games immediately.
Done this in rank too.
Yes,
I pulled it out
God.
on I pulled it out on Mr. Blue and he just flipped shit. Like he refuses to fight me anymore.
Their emblems are so, oh my god, I try so hard pro.
Nah, dude, this fits with Armored Core. This rocks. This looks so cool.
You have shown me your answer. Welcome to Orca.
I miss custom player content in games, man. All this like edgy stuff being made in earnest. Everyone feels like they're cool OC in the world. I'm so mysterious and brooding. Freaking millennial irony posting killed all of this. So what if it's cheesy and cringe? I'm cringe, and that's based. But you see how they're constantly switching between scan mode and combat mode? They're shooting up sonar beacons. There's different archetypes of sonar beacons that do different things. You're analyzing enemy weaknesses, like with your elemental weapon types, seeing what they're weak against. You're working with your operator to find like holes in their defenses.
Railgun is weak to.
Where are we going?
They're all over here, on my marker. One guy here. One guy at 34 by himself. 34 is moving up. 34 on the left side is coming up.
You get up close and personal, or your bullets bounce off, which is what carried over to Armored Core 6. Although Armored Core 6 reverted back to the more 4th gen style of like one-on-one battles. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I feel like 5th gen multiplayer definitely has an appeal too, that I think would do really well in this modern age of competitive gaming. Although this little pilot mode where like when you get destroyed, you get to fly around with this giant jetpack, it looks very silly. I don't know why they didn't just do a normal spectator mode where you spectate your teammates like every other game. Now, I'm admittedly much less familiar with Chromehounds compared to Armored Core, but I still wanted to talk about it because I know it's got some shooters out there. Finding footage for this was interesting because this is an old game, but I wanted to get footage of it back when like it was alive, but that means that it's all very grainy 2007 era gameplay. But again, I can see the appeal. Like, looking at these videos, it feels something almost like War Thunder, where you got these big maps, different vehicle types, you're doing like long-range sniping, there's body damage, very low TTK if you hit critical areas, that kind of thing. Now, the mech design's a little funky in this one, very utilitarian, I would say, compared to Armored Core. I think Armored Core wins out in the sauce department, but that's just me. If there are any old head Chromehounds vets watching this, feel free to sound off in the comments. Let everyone know how cool Chromehounds was.
Excuse me. This is so sexy. I want to zip my pants down.
See what I mean though by the emphasis on the eyeballs and the yelling? Here, real quick, watch this. Can someone please recompile this and make it work for PC with a keyboard and mouse? Or like a HOTAS or something? This is a bucket list game, like unironically. Like I want to play this game once before I die.
Wave to the camera! Wave to the camera!
Hi!
I guess.
This feels like a fake game, but in a good way. Like we lost the ability to make stuff like this. Like look at how rad this is.
Again, okay. There, we're good. I'm gonna start at a 3. Hurry up. Hurry up, hurry up.
Come on, let's go.
Hurry up, dude.
Let's get this shit train rolling.
Deeper than 20 meters.
Wooly, you have proximity alarms on every direction. Careful with your boosts.
Okay. Where are the proximity alarms?
The red flashes.
Red flashes on left and right.
And the one in the middle is forward.
Okay. Yeah. We're gonna go up to 5. We're following these guys. Full throttle. Max speed.
Your
Let's go.
proximity alarms is...
Full throttle, let's go.
There you go. So I guess the assumption here is that after a certain amount of time with this, because I'm watching Wooly over the past hour go from staring at the device and flipping each one individually,
to not looking.
To the startup is now you just scraped your hand against the platform.
Totally.
To just having the complete flip switch, not look.
Heavy Armor might have my favorite ever setting for a game. And this trailer is one of my favorites of all time. Losing squad mates, pulling them from reserve, having to manage your crew while fighting the war outside. This is genius. People like FTL, right? That's what this is. But for God's sake, you made it for the Kinect.
They should have renamed this game Steel Battalion. Get your fucking hand off that!
Remake this and have it be like a VR game or something. This game would be an all-timer if it wasn't tied to that stupid camera. Now I got one more for you that you probably didn't expect.
Tactical intervention.
Man, I loved this game when it was out. I don't care how ugly or janky it was, it had so many cool ideas. Like we're talking about Siege, this is like proto-Siege. Oh God, can someone make a good Siege competitor already? Like you're rappelling off buildings with these janky source engine physics, but it's like freeform rappelling, not the clunky railroady way that Siege does it. You got different types of hostage mode, having to corral them all in a room and keep them all from moving. These infamous car chase missions. They're such a cool idea on paper, it's just that the source engine physics make it silly. But you got dodge rolling, blind firing around corners or up over cover. That's cool. It'd be cool to see more games try that. I know Tarkov does it, but it's Tarkov. Also, the gore.
People are just spawning in this guy doesn't even know I'm behind him.
Oh my God!
Get
what is happening?
I like games like this where it's kind of inspired by Hong Kong action flicks or Heat or The Matrix. Games like Black or Fear where there's all this smoke and particle effects, all these sparks flying everywhere, all these over-the-top effects to make every gun feel super powerful to an exaggerated degree. Problem is, you can't use any of the cool guns because the game is held back by these lame Korean free-to-play monetization systems with weapon rentals. But obviously the average person's not going to cough up money to buy skins and guns in a game that looks like this. You could probably already remake this game in Gmod or something. We have all these Gmod realism videos with all these weapons and effects add-ons. And vehicles too, people put all sorts of vehicles into Gmod. I know Goose...
Hi, I made Counter-Strike 14 years ago. Try my new game.
Has since gone on to make this alpha response game, and it looks like it could be alright, but it's co-op, not PvP. And for the record, when I was talking about the Source Engine earlier, I'm not blaming the Source Engine. There's a lot of amazing, iconic games made on the Source Engine, including our honorable mention.
Our hounds will tear them to shreds!
Why did Insurgency get a sequel with Insurgency Sandstorm, but Day of Infamy players can go get bent? Day of Infamy refined a lot of the clunkiness that Insurgency had, and would go on to introduce mechanics that would then be used in Insurgency Sandstorm. Day of Infamy, I think, is the best World War II game we've had since World at War. But I don't think it ever sold very well because people saw it as just a World War II reskin of Insurgency for $20 and didn't want to bother buying it. I mean, save for the fine details, it might as well just be a reskin, but still really good. I'm also calling for revivals of Blur and Split Second. Make these games again. These are some of the best racing games ever made. You guys got anything else? Leave a comment, let me know. What underappreciated games do you think should get remade? Leave a comment down below, and then close this tab and do your homework, mister.